Hey friends, how's it going? Ash here. Welcome back to Extra Gents. Let's go back in time today to the 90s. I know it doesn't feel like that long ago, but it was. Today we're going to be talking about fragrances from the 90s that still smell great today. And I intentionally left out some of the biggest ones from the 90s because they're just too obvious. Acqua di Gio, obviously that still works. L'Eau d'Issy, same deal. I'm not saying everything that I'm gonna talk to you about today is completely unknown or underground or anything like that. They're just not at that level. But to be fair, how many fragrances are at Acqua di Gio's level? Not many. All of the scents I'm gonna talk to you about today are linked down in the description below. Feel free to check them out down there. And as always, here are some codes that you can use to save money at a bunch of different websites. GS11 will get you a flat 11% off at fragflex.com. Then we've got codes for Max Aroma and Twisted Lily for your niche fragrances and Triple Traders for your clones, among other codes. Let's kick it off with a really inexpensive fragrance, super cheap. This thing has been sub $20, I think, since the beginning of time. And it looks like it, to be honest. It's Michael Jordan Legend. So nothing against the fragrance, nothing against Michael Jordan, but it definitely, as I said, looks pretty cheap. Just a standard little bottle here with Michael Jordan's silhouette. The cap is flimsy and cheap. The atomizer doesn't even have a collar to sit over the crimp. And for that matter, the atomizer is actually awful. And it's also a cologne spray, it says. So yeah, that's a good concentration. Cologne spray. So if you just judge this by how it looks, you would think this is going to be awful. A sub $20 fragrance with a presentation like this, that's a celebrity fragrance, probably not very good. But in actuality, it's very good and smells way better than you would expect for the extremely low price point. This stuff has coffee as one of the main notes in the fragrance, and it's actually a little bit reminiscent of New Harlem by Bond Number 9 and Rocus Man. You also have in here amber that gives you a little bit of warmth, some sweetness, touch of powder in there as well. You have lavender and anise, but really what's going to make it or break it for you will be that coffee. But I think it smells great. It's a very sweet coffee. Some people, like with New Harlem, may be reminded of syrup. Yeah, like syrup with pancakes. That's what New Harlem has always been compared to, and with this smelling a little similar to that, you may find that comparison as well. So this one was released in 1997. For the price point, it's still a really good buy as long as you can overlook the kind of awful presentation. And one more thing with this being a cologne spray and having an atomizer that is this weak, you're probably gonna wanna spray it on pretty heavy. After that one, a personal favorite of mine, Kenzo Jungle Homme. Presentation on this one is also a little iffy. I think it looks better than Michael Jordan Legend over here, but a little brush on the top, I don't know. Maybe it's okay, I don't know. After all these years, I still haven't fully decided how much I like it or not, the presentation, but the fragrance I like a lot. This one sometimes is in stock and sometimes is not at discounters, and the price seems to fluctuate pretty widely. I've seen this one go for, on the low end, like 35, and then on the high end, 65, 70. Obviously, it's gonna be a better buy on the lower end. So this one is a fresh, spicy, but also warm spicy fragrance. So it's got nice freshness in there when you first spray it on. Good amount of spices immediately, but as it dries down, it does warm up a bit. Got a lot of citrus in the opening, a few different citrus notes. You have cinnamon in there, nutmeg, cardamom when you blast this one on. And it also has some black pepper and a bunch of woody notes as the fragrance dries. It reminds me a bit of bits and pieces of a lot of different fragrances from the 90s, ones that are much more expensive than this one, that are discontinued and much harder to find. And I think that it's a great value as long as you can find it for that lower price point, and it still has good wearability today. It's not something that smells overly dated to me, though I do think it will in general appeal to guys that are probably at least mid to late 20s and older, because while there's a little sweetness in there, not too much. It's more so focused on those spices and the woods. So Kenzo Jungle, stuff still works, still smells really, really, really nice. After that, let's talk about XS from Paco Rabanne. Now this is the new bottling style, and technically the new bottling style is not a fragrance from the 90s, but all they did is change the bottle. So it counts, it's still a 90s fragrance. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, Jungle was 98. This one was originally released in 94, though this bottling style is from 2018. Like I said, that don't matter because the fragrance is still the same. And XS smells quite similar to a Creed fragrance. Yeah, one of those funny times that there's a designer fragrance and then Creed comes out with something that smells a little similar. So this smells quite similar to Creed's Himalaya, and Himalaya came out in 2002. So the Paco was first. This is gonna be one of those ones that I think for some people, it's gonna be a revelation. A fragrance that you absolutely adore, that you love, because I love XS and I really like Himalaya. But there are people out there who just do not dig it. They don't like it. To me, it's a very fresh, brisk, musky, clean fragrance that I think just shines in spring and fall during the day. It's an almost at times metallic clean that just I feel really stands on its own. Note-wise, there are a bunch of them in here. There's bergamot, there's rosemary, there's mint off the top, so aromatic, fresh, a little green. There's juniper, rosewood, sage, sandalwood, musk. Like I said, a bunch of notes in the scent, but man, it just smells really, really nice. It smells much better than you might expect for a forgotten Paco Rabanne that is quite cheap nowadays. You can find this about 30, 35 bucks nowadays at discounters. And like I said, pretty unique. This one and Himalaya kind of very similar, but outside of that, smells like its own thing. XS, really dig that one. And after that, Dune from Christian Dior. I'd say out of everything we're gonna talk about today, maybe Dune has the most 90s-esque feel to it. This one was released 1997, and it's well known for having fig as one of the main notes in the fragrance. Great atomizer on this one too. Oof. So this one opens up green. It's kind of funny how that goes, cyclical. You know, there was a time where everything was green and then, oh, no green fragrances, and now the time that we're in now, you have more green fragrances starting to come out with regularity again. Kind of how it goes, it seems to be. So yeah, very green opening in here, fig leaf, fig wood, some of the notes in the fragrance. As it dries down, takes on a nice creaminess, a little bit of a sweetness down there as well as it dries. You have vanilla, tonka, cedar in the base of the fragrance, and it's got a great kind of soft classiness to it. The fig imparts a little tang, a little tartness, that helps it stand out from other fragrances, other contemporary fragrances of the time. It's not really loud, so the performance is not huge here. And it is fairly expensive nowadays. This one at discounters, if you can find it in stock, you're probably looking at 100, 110, something like that, compared to 20, 30, 35, and maybe 40. So much more expensive than these guys over here. But this is an interesting little footnote from Christian Dior. You know, it doesn't get talked about anymore. Nobody really knows about this, but it still works. When I say nobody really knows about this, of course, I mean just your average person nowadays. And then last but definitely not least, Chanel Allure Homme. This was released right at the tail end of the 90s, 1999. And out of everything here, this one may be the easiest to wear for more people. Allure Homme still works really, really, really well. The versatility of that is fantastic. Basically year-round for me, daytime or nighttime. Good sweetness off the top, got peach in there, citrus. You have ginger, fresh spices, aromatics. The ginger gives it a nice zestiness, really helps elevate that opening, you know, helps make it feel more alive. And then as it dries down, creamy woodiness, sandalwood, tonka, vanilla. It's a compliment monster. It always has been. And like I said, out of everything here, I think Allure Homme probably is gonna be the easiest one for more people to pull off. Younger guys can wear this, older guys can wear this. It's a solid, solid scent. So I figured we would end with that one in today's video, end with Dior and Chanel both. There we go, 5 fragrances from the 90s that are not Acqua di Gio or low DC that still work today. I feel like a really good mix here. We got gourmand, cheapy, we have soapy, fresh, clean, we have fresh, spicy, woody, warm. We've got fig with a creamy, kind of dry down, and then we just got your all day, everyday versatile fragrance. So there we go. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you tomorrow with another fragrance video. Thank you guys. See you later.